Welcome back to round 3 of the Ultimate Karting Championship. We're heading out to the grid right now as some of the senior X30 drivers, some of the oldest guys here. This certainly will be a great race. Let's see how they've qualified on the grid then with your race commentator, Jake Sanson.
I've only just got my breath back from the Mini X30. Now we've got the seniors to come. Caden McQueen and Oliver Greenall from Watson Moody, Atkins and Johnston Cool, Angus Millsdale, Steve Brown, James Otto and Hugo Gilbert. Outside the top 10 is Cameron Coombs, but just check out who's on that front row of the grid. Caden McQueen versus Oliver Greenall. If this doesn't have action written all over it, I don't know what does. And then, of course, you've got to watch out for the man in the red suit in third position, Luke Watts. Here we go, through turn 1, and Watts is in a second place already behind McQueen. Greenall is there in third position. Our cameraman is going to be the race leader, Caden McQueen, throughout. Watts has a little bit of a look on the inside. Kalai Atkins through into fourth position. Tucks up in front of Alex Moody. Louis Johnston Cool and Angus Millsdale getting good starts as well. So Angus Millsdale is just there in front of Alex Moody at the moment. Oh, here comes Greenall on the inside of Luke Watts. We are not waiting around at Larkhall.
That was a fantastic move by a top quality driver. And there's Watts going through to third as well. You were talking about Greenall earlier, Jake, about his exploits out in Europe, and he's been doing some fantastic things out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Great work over the course of the season. Watts initially lost third position to Kalai Atkins, but he got straight back on the horse in the hairpin, and he needed to. It's up the inside. That's Alex Moody in the final turn, getting his bid on Angus Millsdale, and he gets through into the top 6. Brown is 8th, then Otto, Gilbert, and Cameron Coombs as they continue on charging around the circuit. Can Caden McQueen pull away from Oliver Greenall? The answer is unlikely. Not to take anything away from Caden McQueen, but these two are so evenly matched.
Caden McQueen, the championship leader, of course, coming into this round.
Oh, Watts is slowing! Watts is slowing! Oh no, has he lost the chain? Whatever it might be, Watts is out.
Still seems to be moving the kart. Is it moving enough to get into the middle of the circuit? It probably is. That is Caden McQueen, championship leader, picks out.
Oh, Luke, he's just had the worst possible luck at the worst time of the season as well, because McQueen and Greenall are on their A game. He can't afford to be losing points like that too many times this season.
Greenall was the winner at round 1 in the final.
Oh, it's a big slide through the first corner from Atkins. He almost drifted straight off the road.
Absolutely, but still there in P3. Caden McQueen, of course, won last time out. So that is Luke Watts, retired from the race. Not sure what the problem is, but he's out, obviously, with some sort of mechanical issue.
Yeah, such a shame. He is one of the stars of the British karting scene at the moment, and that is just such a heartbreaker when there's nothing you've done wrong and the kart just comes to a spluttering halt, and you've then got to spend the remaining 12 minutes of this race watching it unfold, knowing that you could be fighting for the victory in this one. It's such agony.
Yeah, clearly. This one looks like it's going to be between McQueen and Greenall. Even at this stage of the season, arguably, it's between these two for the championship. Steve Alvarez-Brown there, Super GT, Jake.
Yes,
in
indeed.
7th place. His online fans, and there are over 500,000 of you that follow him on his YouTube channel. Fantastic online presence, social media presence that Steve has, and he spoke very eloquently in the interview we did with him earlier in the season about the importance to the young drivers to have a good online social media presence.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? The great thing about Steve Brown, I've been watching him for several years, even before his gaming days when he was doing arrive and drive karting. You've just got to keep pushing and finding things that work to your advantage, and Steve is one of these drivers. He figured out he was stuck in a bit of a rut with it. He rebuilt himself. He found a bit of a home in esports. He's found a way to give himself a little bit more support, back his own horse, so to speak, and he has completely rejuvenated his racing career. He's got a chance of using this as a springboard to go and compete on the senior scene in Europe in various different categories. He could continue in X30, look at Rotax. He's got all sorts of options open to him now.
Absolutely. You can see him in the quadrant colours. There he is, just going through the picture. Black and yellow kart. And he's supported, of course, by Lando Norris these days, Jake.
Yep.
So he's got good support there.
Well,
Lando's following everything that he does.
There are not many better mates to have in this world of motor racing these days, are there?
Surely not. Lando's somebody we know really well. We've got interviews with him on the our own YouTube channel.
Yep.
When he was, I think, 9 years old.
He was one of the very first people I ended up speaking to at the beginning of the 2013 karting season, I seem to recall. The very first one, of course. George Russell. Not going to forget that one in a hurry.
Absolutely. We've got interviews with him on the channel as well. Oliver Greenall sets the fastest lap, 49.938.
So this is going to be a gradual duel for victory, as Greenall is just going to chip away at McQueen's little slender advantage. Little by little, he's going to take ground. Kalai Atkins, third position, giving himself plenty of opportunity to stretch away from Louis Johnston-Cool. Not actually able to do it at the moment. Louis Johnston-Cool's still there, but he needs to keep his rhythm and flow at this point of the race. Moody, Mulsdale, Brown, Otto, Gilbert, and then Coombs, who seems to have dropped off the pace actually. In fact, Coombs is out of the race as well. Not seen what's happened there to Cameron Coombs. I have a feeling he's pulled it into the pits and parked it, because he's certainly not there in 10th position anymore. That's unfortunate. So now just the 9 continuing on, but Moody is trying to stretch well clear of Angus Mulsdale. And you're sitting here thinking, 9 drivers, that's not that many competitors out there on the circuit. Well, in Lewis Hamilton's 1998 Champions of the Future year, he only had about 6 or 7 drivers to race against that season, and he's done all right for himself.
Yeah, people have a different view historically when they look back. They think it was a full grid of 34 that Lewis Hamilton
It really wasn't
at the time. But let's be clear, Jake. If he was on a grid of 34, he'd still be the man to beat.
Absolutely. So Kalai Atkins and Louis Johnston-Cool, 3rd and 4th. Moody and Mulsdale still trading sector times at this moment in time. Angus Mulsdale, of course, knows this place like his back garden, because it practically is. So he's putting on an excellent show here in P6. Still trying to find a little bit more ground on Alex Moody. Doesn't get to do a full season campaign as Angus Mulsdale. They obviously run to a budget. He's one of the stars of the kart club here at West of Scotland Kart Club at Larkhall. Just a few miles down the road from the city of Glasgow, of course, this place, and it is a vibrance of talent. It has bred so many world-class racing drivers over the year, this place. Alan McNish, Dario Franchitti, David Coulthard, Paul Di Resta. They just keep churning them out over the decades, and this place has so much passion and thirst for world motorsport.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before we see the next Scottish Formula One driver. Who do you think, Jake? Anybody in mind?
Yeah, it's a very tough one. You could potentially look at Dexter Patterson. He obviously grew up on these race circuits as well. He's got plenty of ability.
Dexter Patterson, that would probably arguably be the favourite at the moment.
So out of the hairpin, Kalai Atkins still trying to stay with these two. Do you know what? Atkins and Johnston-Cool are actually chipping away a little bit at McQueen and Greenall. A 10th or 2 here and there. They're not quite gaining enough ground to challenge for the win. But let's hypothesise and say that McQueen and Greenall are going to go at it, which they probably are. You know, they are 2 hard as nails, no-nonsense racing drivers, McQueen and Greenall. They are going to go for the battle, and neither is going to give an inch. If they start scrapping, Kalai Atkins needs to stay hungry. He could get a 2nd or even a 1st.
Yeah, there's several drivers I can think of that you'd want to be hunted down by, other than Oliver Greenall. Probably he wouldn't be at your top of the list of drivers that you want to be hunted by, because Greenall is learning something about Caden McQueen's lines, his braking points. Every single lap that goes by, he's such a good driver.
Yeah, I've been watching him here in the UK and further afield in Europe. He is one of the most intuitive racing drivers you're ever going to see in karting, because he soaks every single piece of data up like a sponge and then goes to war with it. He's just a wonderful operator, Oliver Greenall. So much commitment and dedication to his craft. Every single lap he's on looks like a qualifying lap, and he's able to string sectors together, apexes together that can just eat up the margin. Don't forget, in Europe, he's got world champions as teammates. This is a guy who is learning from the best and unlocking supreme pace.
Exactly, and he's right on the back of McQueen now. And let's be clear as well, this man, Caden McQueen, in a red suit. I'm not sure why Caden is in a red suit. I think it's illegal for anybody to wear a red suit other than Luke Watts. Anyway, Caden McQueen in the red suit. He's also top quality, a top quality performer. We've been filming him since he was a cadet, and he's really come into his own in this class, I think, but he's under pressure now.
Oh, here we go. It's about to get brutal. Greenall is on the warpath, and he's really starting to charge now after Caden McQueen. Mad Croc versus the Fusion Motorsport machine behind him. This is definitely going to be a toe-to-toe war with these two. Great teams, they have amazing backgrounds, and they work tooth and nail to get everything done together. They are great operations, both of them, and both drivers here have an incredible mentality for victory. They just do not give an inch, and no quarters given either. And this is Greenall really starting to step up the attack. Just chips a little bit out of Caden McQueen's advantage again.
The gap now back to Atkins, 1.7 from the leader, so it looks like it's between these two. Greenall is going to have a go, the first opportunity he gets, and these two will have such respect for each other and the craft of racing, basically. McQueen will do nothing stupid. He will defend, and he will defend hard, but he's not going to do anything stupid and have himself taken out of the race and take Greenall out as well, or Greenall go for the move. It goes pear-shaped for McQueen, and all of a sudden he's looking at a loss of his championship lead. He'll know that even second place in this final, not a bad result, not a worse result for him. Listen, he's Caden McQueen. Does he want to come second? He's like Lewis Hamilton. No, of course he doesn't want to come second. But he knows it's the long game he's playing.
Yeah, he's like a firework display when he's behind the wheel. But I tell you what, as well as that, Caden McQueen is probably one of the most sporting role models within the British karting scene. If anything kicks off in these paddocks, the first one that will be on the scene to break it up is Caden McQueen. He does not want any trouble on his racetracks. He is such a sport, a lovely, lovely young man. He's really passionate and dedicated at working young talent up. When Kalai Atkins came into the team, he said, right, we can do this together. I need a wingman. We can be absolutely ruthless as a unit. And the way that Kalai Atkins' pace has come on is down to Caden McQueen's belief in his teammates' ability.
Yeah,
he's a wonderful young man.
You only had to watch Zaki Hussein's interview that we did. Zaki is a junior, of course. The respect and appreciation he has for Caden McQueen as his teammate, he actually called him his hero.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about somebody who's in karting in the senior class. Such has been the help that he's given to Zaki. And Zaki himself is becoming a top quality driver
Certainly
as well,
is.
Jake. No doubt about it. The help that he's given to Zaki just shows what Caden McQueen is all about. If he can give help to a younger driver, he will do, and that's exactly what he's been doing.
And it's why he's been picked up by the YRDA. So obviously Arden have taken a look at him and thought, you know what, there's something special in this boy, and they're absolutely right. But now Greenall is really starting to push his buttons. This is where we're going to get a bit of a build-up. However, the man in fourth position is starting to bang in some fast laps. Louis Johnston-Cool had the fastest lap a short while ago as he tries to put pressure on Kalai Atkins through the fast sweepers at the beginning of the lap. And Greenall is still right there. This is a question of when, rather than if, he's going to make the big launch on Caden McQueen.
Yeah, he's not getting this close and not having a go. You know, when drivers are as good as Oliver Greenall.
And McQueen's checking over his shoulder. He knows,
so he knows
he's right there.
That's sort of an invitation now, because, you know, if he goes for it, he expects McQueen's going to give him room. Because you've looked behind, you've seen me, you know I'm going to go for it. You know, you've seen my number, 64. You know who I am. You know I'm not just sitting here. And the same would be the case in reverse. If that was the 3 kart behind the 64 kart, Greenall would know the same.
This is such an interesting dice between these two. They may not be overtaking each other every single corner, but in terms of the psychology of these two pushing each other to the limit, it's almost as if Greenall's saying, you better speed up, you better get fast because I am coming for you. And Caden McQueen's response is, well, come on then, have a go, come on. Out up the inside line, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. This is a brilliant little duel of wits between these two. McQueen again checks over his shoulder. Yeah. Are you there? You coming? Yeah. Are you coming? I'm ready for you.
Yeah, he knows there's not long left. Just over a minute and change into the hairpin. This is an opportunity. Doesn't take it this time. Time's counting down as well, Jake.
Yep. It's now or never really for Greenall to make that first big move. Otherwise, McQueen could bang in a qualifying style lap and disappear by a couple of lengths, and that will be enough to hold on to it.
And this is a great battle as well, by the way. Kalai Atkins from Louis Johnston-Cool. We know Johnston-Cool set the fastest lap in this one, so he's faster than the two out front, but he's not got track position, and he'll want to make up one place at least, because that is a podium.
Here we go, on the inside, Greenall launches. That was inevitable. He has been building up to this for a while. He makes his launch on the inside. It's now up to Caden McQueen to fight back. Greenall straight away checks over his shoulder. Okay, so that was my move. What are you going to do? Are you going to put me in checkmate? I don't think so.
What have you got in response? Have you got anything, Caden McQueen? Because if you have, you better play your cards quickly.
Masterful in the middle of the circuit of the braking zone. And again, squeezing McQueen out wide. No way are you getting this lead back again, says Oliver Greenall. I'm placing my kart in all the right places. You can't overtake. Look, right in the dead centre. You can't go left, you can't go right. McQueen still pushing it. He wants this.
It was 1.8, it's 1.2 as they go through the line. Just shows you that one move has closed the gap by 0.6 of a second.
Last lap of the race, and we're on board with Caden McQueen as he chases after Oliver Greenall. Can he have one more chance?
It's over, Jake.
Yeah,
that is a race-winning advantage. You might not think so, but that is a race-winning advantage for Oliver Greenall.
No, you're right. He's
5 or 6
out.
kart lengths at this stage. He doesn't need to defend now.
No, absolutely right. And this is absolutely masterclass from Greenall. Just back him in those couple of apexes. Meanwhile, Kalai Atkins is having to defend against Louis Johnston-Cool. McQueen is trying. He's throwing everything at it. He just can't quite get close enough. Atkins is in ultra defensive mode from Louis Johnston-Cool. He should have this, but Oliver Greenall has snatched it. Excellent race, brilliant, dictatorial in the apexes, and he's claimed it from Caden McQueen. Kalai Atkins in third, Louis Johnston-Cool frustrated in fourth position from Moody and Moulsdale, but Oliver Greenall cleans up as Super GT comes through in seventh place ahead of Otto and Gilbert. But Oliver Greenall has swept all before him. What an amazing job. We'll never quite know what Luke Watts would have been able to do in that battle, of course, but Greenall gets the job done from McQueen. Atkins in a solid third place from Louis Johnston-Cool. Moody and Moulsdale from Steve Brown, but Oliver Greenall is the man on top, and rightly so after a battle of wits. Caden McQueen will be back though, and you can bet he won't concede a second time.
Well, Caden McQueen and Oliver Greenall have proved to be the class of the field this season so far, and they've done it just again then in that final. Greenall getting the move done in the closing stages that saw him take the top step of the podium, but by my trackside maths, I think Caden will still have the lead in the championship overall. Let's go and find out what they had to say at the podium.
Oliver, 3 podiums, but it's never better than first, is it? You had a first at round 1, third last time, but first again today. Talk us through your weekend here at Larkhall.
Yeah, it's been a tough weekend because we haven't been here in 2 years and everyone's been here the last 3 weekends. So struggled getting up to speed and sort of been quite steady all weekend, but managed to sort of get there in the final and made the move for the lead when it counted and held on from there.
Yeah, it was great. Tell us who you want to thank for the weekend.
I'd say massive thanks to Fusion Motorsport, especially Chris Rogers, Tom Arm, Dan Hazelwood, my dad, Joe Bullen at Ventus Power. Yeah, that's it.
Well, the championship lead is still there for Caden McQueen, but the gap is a little lower. Oliver Greenall is just 11 points back now. Luke Watts and Kalai Atkins very close for third position. On dropped scores, though, Luke Watts is still in contention for the title, so don't count him out. Alex Moody solid in fifth. Louis Johnston-Cool just a few ahead of Steve Brown.
So another exciting final here at Larkhall, and in our final part after the break, we'll be going wheel to wheel with the Miami Cadets.